Hello internet! Something I get a lot when I'm streaming and when I'm hanging out in other people's streams, I see a lot in the chat, is how do I get better? How can I warm up and improve my aim in Siege? I'm coming from console to PC, how do I get better with a mouse and keyboard? And most of the time the answer is just, oh, just do a few T-hunts every day before you play ranked or casual or whatever it is you're doing. You know, just do some T-hunts. But just playing terrorist hunt isn't that useful in and of itself. So let's talk about the things that you can do to maximize your time to warm up and improve within Siege. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to make sure you got your terrorist hunt set up correctly. So you're going to come over here to the settings menu, open up settings, come down to matchmaking preferences here, open that up, and under game mode preferences for terrorist hunt, you're going to want to turn off extract hostage, protect hostage, and disarm bomb. Make sure all three of these are off. So the only one that should be on, and it will be grayed out, is terrorist hunt classic here. So then we'll come down to our map preferences for terrorist hunt. And you'll want to make sure that House, Oregon, Clubhouse, Consulate, Bank, Chalet if you choose, Cafe, Border, Coastline, and Outback are on. Now the reason we don't turn the others on, and by default all of these will be on, so you want to turn off all the ones I didn't mention. So Fortress, Villa, Tower, Theme Park, etc. The reason you want to turn these specific ones on is because these are the ones that are mainly in the ranked pool / competitive map pool. Things like Oregon and House, just in the ranked map pool. Well, obviously House isn't, but House is just a good map. It's a quick, easy map to warm up on. Oregon in the ranked pool, Outback in the map pool. But they're easy maps to run through and just warm up with. The reason for the other ones is because they're all in the competitive ESL map pool, the Pro League map pool. So things like Border, Coastline, Cafe, etc. So why have we got these maps enabled? Well, when you're doing terrorist hunt, especially if you're a new player, doing terrorist hunt on these maps specifically will help you to learn the maps, learn different angles, learn the layout of the maps, and things like that. So if you're a new player, doing these maps will particularly be helpful. One of the most important things to remember though is while you're playing your T-hunt, make sure you're playing it as practice to warm up. If you die and you have to restart, no one cares, no one's watching you, you're not trying to impress anyone. Just literally restart, run it back, and try it again. You're not trying to play this terrorist hunt to win, you're literally trying it and playing it to warm up to get your aim better. This is why at the start I recommended you set multiple different maps to play for terrorist hunt. I know a lot of pros and other players might just set their T-hunt House or Border, you know, like 1 or 2 maps. And personally, I've tried that tactic, but for me, I found myself just sort of pre-aiming and warbanging where I knew terrorists would be, instead of getting an actual quality warm-up time in. It's also super important to remember when you're playing your T-hunts to always pre-aim at head level. I know so many lower ranked and newer players have this big tendency to sort of aim at the floor when they're moving around. I don't know why. I guess it's maybe because they can see over their gun model a bit more so they can see what's in front of them. I'm not really sure, but always be pre-aiming at a head level and try to keep your crosshair centered when you're running around the map. This is such a big factor in improving your aim and getting better in really any FPS game, not even just Siege. Crosshair placement is essential. Now, when you're actually playing your T-hunts, it's important to play for a reason, to warm up for a particular set of skills. So say for example you're trying to practice with Buck, his C8's recoil is quite hard to control, so you may want to play T-hunt quite slow and methodical, trying to practice his weapon. If you want to work on crosshair placement, like I said, try playing your T-hunts with your main operators or with guns that are easy to control with 0 recoil, and practice pre-aiming common angles as you turn around corners, practice keeping your crosshair centered at head height when you're moving through the map and around doorways. Now, you may feel pretty comfortable with your crosshair placements and sort of controlling recoil with a bunch of different operators that you like playing, but you think you're struggling with flicking and reactionary shots. So I'd recommend putting on some fast-paced music, something to sort of like hype you up and get you going, taking Ash or Zofia or IQ, someone with an easy gun that's a 2 or a 3 speed, set your primary gun to single fire, and going balls to the wall, running through the map, completing the T-hunt as fast as possible, and making sure you're flicking from one terrorist hunt to the next, always getting one-tap headshots. This is super key for doing any kind of T-hunt. You want to make sure you're never settling for less than a headshot, and you're always trying to sort of flick between terrorist's head as fast and precise as possible. This is going to be the best way for you to improve and warm up your aim before you jump into things like Ranked, where players are obviously moving around and strafing quite a bit more. So that's about it for today's video. If you've got any routines, tips you use for warming up, I would love to hear them in the comments below, and I'm sure we can all use them to get better together. And other than that, make sure to follow my Twitch and other socials. Join our Discord full of awesome Siege people. Links for all of that in the description below, obviously. And as always, happy breaching. Pretty freaking exciting.
3 hostiles remaining.
If I could do a master's in like marketing and like business and that kind of stuff, that'd be pretty cool. What? I'm gonna start a company for sandblasting metal. Oh, did you say that sounds sick, man?
Op 4 has located a bomb.
Oh, it's a glass? Shit! I should have held my angle. None of them are defending the objective though. Like this is the issue we've got, right? No one's defending the objective. You've got an LS shotgun challenging a very long angle into study. You've got a Legion that's literally doing nothing. Like he's behind his teammates, I assume trying to cover the flank. And there's Mozzie, who was by bar, like trying to basically retake site. Like the Ella trying to hold a long angle through sight as like with a shotgun. Like if you have a Scorpion, then like fair enough, I guess. Like I wouldn't even try and challenge that long angle with a Scorpion, because then you're just like, it's such a disadvantage. The Legion says basically thought to himself at the start of the round, like, all right, I'm gonna hold like the flank through the bedroom, that kind of stuff. At the start of the round, that's what he was doing. That's why he was there, right? But he didn't realize that with like a minute or two left on the like a minute or so left on the clock, that there was no one, like no one was pushing there, and B, that his teammates were in front of him, so he wouldn't, like there was no flank to hold, right? Like not a single one of my teammates, except for kind of the Mozzie, realized that like he should probably push back to site.
You have entered an enemy-controlled area. Leave now. Your location has been compromised. Camera initiated.
No one of my friends would just let them walk into study, right?
Op 4
That satisfies me
down
great.
5 seconds. Op 4 has located a bomb. Get ready to
Look at
engage.
this. Mate, they ain't getting trophy for shit. This setup's solid. Why is she playing Frost? Fair play to you.
That's sledging someone.
Is that what I thought it
I'll
was?
push you boys.
Should be able to see heads here.
Oh no, I knew he'd do that!
Where is he?
Main door, main door,
Main door, man.
Right now, carry,
The diffuser is no longer in
How
your
am I hitting?
Good kill.
Straight down.
One friendly
Now
operator remaining.
watch the Frost in armory. There, you see it. Good kill.
There, you see her. Good call out.
Thanks, Brent. I didn't see her.
The diffuser
Alright,
is
always
now
here to help.
secured.
Of course, meet them.
Just outplay him. Just outgun him, son. Oh, there you go.
Last operator.
In the armory, like the fucking.
You can place the kite so that you can get Khalid, by the way.
Bullseye, got us a
Wait,
drag.
I can?
Yeah.
You're in big tower.
Oh, they're on.
Wait, they're in Big Tower, Brent?
Yeah, big tower now.
I think that's
Alright.
good.
Oh, I got a thermite charge as well.
Yeah.
Nice. Wait, why are we reinforced armory? Hello? This is gonna get open. Shite.
Yeah,
That's therm.
nice.
In-
I think there might be another one in big tower.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
kill him from big tower?
No.
Did he come from big tower?
No. That was thermite on thing. Brenna. Can you hold him? Stop. Big tower
yeah,
door.
yeah, there's one coming in. He's at the door. He's at the door.
Where? West or
Main
east?
door?
West or east? West or east?
No. Big tower door.
You have been exposed.
Oh, that was a
Good kill.
flick and a half.
Good shot. Neb.
Yeah.
He's big tower door. Yeah, he's
Last
there.
stop standing.
He's right. He's big tower. He's big
Yeah, it's
tower.
fine, it's fine.
East side of big tower.
Dead.
Dead.
Friendly's